We're all certainly Leil Shishi and preparing, thinking about Shabbos Kodesh, but we're all also holding on to Chanukah. Chanukah energizes; it gives us a lot, and we were zeichet to 8 days of the mitzvahs of the menorah, of the tefillas, the special tefillas, the Halal V'Haidah. I was thinking about Akar Satayv, of course, on Chanukah. Reb Nachman's speeches, Reb Nachman's Torah on Chanukah was constant about making brachas. He said, "Shakol niyeh b'dvarei," destroys Yavan. They see a Coke. They see the taste of Coke, and we also see Gishmak, good Coke. We make a shahakol, connects us to Hashem. We see deeper and more. They just see a Coke, and that's it. It's an ends. A Yid says, "Shakol niyeh b'dvarei." The Rebbeinu Shalom created this. Wants me to have it, made it for me. There's purpose. There's so much more than the Coke. There's purpose. And the gratitude, specifically brachas. Reb Nachman spoke a lot. That was a shmur. He said, from a shahakol takes down Yavan, Reb Nachman said. And there was a tremendous emphasis on a chizuk and brachas. Of course, hakar satayv. My father, Harinik Aparas Mishkava, he had a tremendous connection to the Chag of Chanukah. He was born on Chanukah. Chanukah in the home, he pulled out his accordion twice a year. And once every Chanukah, that was like Pashat. Chanukah, the accordion came out, and he had a kayach. He put away the accordion young because he was learning Torah. We were told at Shiva, I never knew, Shelley Lang came and said he could have been professional. Told us by Shiva that he could have been a professional. He was very blunt of Shelley Lang, a childhood friend of my father. My mother told us by Shiva that he told my mother young, if financially we struggle, I'll play for a band. That he had such a koyach. He told my mother, I'll play for a band if necessary. So Chanukah was a very, very mekusher to Chanukah. The Yontiv was always very special. And the midah he spoke about most in his life, and perhaps was most outstanding, was gratitude. Kar Satayv, Noira Kar Satayv. While he was in the hospital, the thank yous to every person that came in. Emistika, thank you. When he was in a coma and no longer here talking to anybody, each person who came in, each nurse and doctor, his mouth would move. It was Pasha to my mother, to us. It was Pasha. He was trying to say thank you. It was Pasha. Everyone would come in. He wasn't conscious, but his mouth would move. My mother said to them, he's trying to say thank you to you. It was Pasha. That was like very ingrained, Akar Satayv. I was thinking over Chanukah about Akar Satayv. For many years, I've noticed this, that gratitude and Emuna are very linked. I've noticed it for years. And what I always assumed, I've said for years, we've spoken about the pasuk, Lahagid baboike chastecha ve'emunascha v'aleilos. Thanking and Emuna. And the two are incredibly linked, gratitude and Emuna. I want to explain why. But I always explain the two that you can't have Emuna unless you have gratitude. If a person absorbs, the Chaim Zavavis describes it. He says that part of Emuna is Hashem's into me and He loves me. There's no faith and reliance if you don't know the basic fact that He's into you. We could have Emuna and Betachon. Hashem's very into me. So I'm Gishmak. Hashem loves me. That's a basic. He has 3 Tanayim for Emuna, the Chavis Salvavas. Hashem's a Kol Yachol. He could do anything. He knows what's going on. He's aware. And He loves me. He's into me. So He loves me as much or more than I love myself. That's a basic fact for Emuna and Betachon. So gratitude is seeing and being aware that Hashem's into us. See, if you have gratitude, you're shayach to Emuna, and there's many like lahagid babayke chastech v'menascha baleilos. There's keliyat v'ideka as gratitude. Thank you, Hashem. Elokai midas adinare memeka miroimim is Emuna. You're miroimim mikol machshava. You're smarter. So you need to have gratitude to have Emuna. Of course, that's true. It's emes and true. I thought about over Chanukah is you need Emuna for gratitude. When I want to absorb, thank you Hashem for a can of soda. If somebody's hurting me, so thank you for a can of soda. Keep your soda and stop hurting me. Keep your, I don't want to thank you so much. I could picture like a teenager, if he's angry at you, you give him some, like roll his eyes. Keep your $10 and come on, I'm mad at you. Thank you. You're going to pay me not to be mad? And be'emes, to absorb the chesed of Hashem, but we have nisyanis. It's an olam anisayin. We all go through our trials. We all have our challenges. So I just was yared the two things, and of course, to have emuna, you need to absorb gratitude. But the two have to go zusammen. Both things they work hand. They're both true. The Rebbeinu Shalom works with us. It's true. The challenges, he's working with us. But it also sends us chesed that allows us to absorb. He's into us and he loves us. And both things, we can live with both things. That he's into me and he cares about me and he loves me more than I love myself. That's why even in speeches, Hashem loves us. I get when things hit you, you have to ask why. When speakers say Hashem loves us, I want to leave the room. What's wrong? He said it's true. It's not. You ever had a graduation and the principal, all the kids hate, says, I love the boys, and everybody's like nauseous. It might even be true, by the way. It might be this guy who screamed at us. It might be true, but none of us care because we don't feel your love. None of us care. The mamish doesn't matter. When we daven by Mar v'avoschal tas mimenu, Hashem says in Avas Olam he loves us. What we're praying is that we should experience his love. V'avoschal tasir mimenu means, please Hashem, we want to experience it. We want to be present to you. We know you love us. But v'avoschal tasir mimenu lo'olam, please Hashem, we want to be awake to that. That Hashem, somebody says Hashem loves us. I hear. That's not what we're saying, that he makes it clear we're capable of living in an eifin that we could experience that he's into us. That it's possible if we're but awake that we could live and experience that he's into us. And that's an akaras hatov, a gratitude. The Baal Shem has big turn. You need the two have to go together, Emuna and akaras hatov. I saw in my tata when he was sick, he was mully gratitude to Hashem that people, his sibers davening, I feel such an outpouring of love. And I couldn't believe it, but he was like living with that. He lived akaras hatov. I feel so much love for my... I'm thinking, that's what you're noticing now? And he was absorbing that. It needs emuna. Because if the other things, that this is terrible, so then how do you notice that? The two things have to go zusammen. If I have emuna on the difficulties, Hashem's working with me. He's working with me. Then I'm capable of absorbing the chesed that's here, and the chesed allows the emuna, both things zusammen, to absorb. The Baal Shem had big tires on people amidst difficulty. He said it's mamtik the din, because you're living the truth. When you absorb the kindness amidst the din, you're living the truth. Everybody speaks about the Yosef HaTzadik on the way to Mitzrayim, the good smell in the Nechais Sariv light. And Matan Scharin Shel Tzadikim, it seems almost funny, that's the Schar of Tzadikim, it smells nice, he's being kidnapped. But this Nekuda that we're shaykh to see Hashem's into us, to see Tzadikim are capable amidst Yisurim, of experiencing and feeling Hashem's mamish doing chesed to me. I feel such an outpouring of love for my tzibur. Of course Hashem wants us to feel these things. And then together with Emuna and but there are other things I'm not so tzufrid, Hashem's working with me. They have to go zusammen, the two things. And coming from a Chanukah to be a Chanukah, that's the recipe for Golus. That's the recipe for days of winter, of storms, of gratitude, of see the chesed, hold on to the chesed, absorb the chesed. And with an emunah on the things that there's also something called din and challenge. Hashem's working with us. He's bringing us places. The absorption of the chesed, the keliyat of Eideka, and the kaira of Mecca that have to go zusammen. I was happy last night. Yitzchak sang a song. We sang together. I couldn't stop singing it the whole day. And everything's, I see like Noirdik Hashkacha. Of course, there's everything's Hashkacha. The whole Yantiv, this is like an akud I was yared to this year. That I want to live with more gratitude. And I was yared that it needs amun. You have to work together. The two things, your mamish have to work together. Because you could say the word, be more appreciative to a can of soda. If I'm so troubled by difficult things, if I don't have Emuna, it's working with me, then I could be present. The two things have to go together. You have to work on both zusammen. Then last night I said we're going to sing songs on thanking Hashem. And yet started, I have faith in your chesed. You want goodness for me. And even if I don't see the chesed, I have faith in the goodness. Yagel libi b'shua secha ken zayin even means now, before the Yeshua. Yagel libi b'shua secha, even amidst the difficult times, I'm excited about the Yeshua. They say such a pshat. Be'emes Gila, there's many expressions for simcha. They don't mean that they have to mean something different. They're different kinds of simcha. I always like telling the guys in the yeshiva, a nice young boy came to yeshiva. I asked him, what's the difference between Lashon Kodesh and English, if he knows. And I explained to the youngster, it's important to know, basic of Yiddishkeit. I told him this is not a hand, it's only called a hand. There's not a table, it's only called a table. It's not a ceiling, it's called a ceiling. It's not a hand, it's nothing about the hand, it's called the hand. It's Haskam Masuma V'Uma. But I said it is a yad, it's not called a yad. It's a shema etzem, it's not a way to, a dad, I'm called a dad. I am an av. It's what I am, shema etzem. It's not a way to refer to it. In Allah, if you read the Megillah in English, you're Yaitse. But if you don't know what you're saying, you're not Yaitse. Because if you say hand and you don't know this, what it means, you didn't say this at all, because it's not a hand. If we say hand and we picture this, so it's called said. But if you read the Megillah in Lashon Kodesh, you don't understand, you're Yaitse. Because if you say yad, you said this, whether you know what you said or not. But Lashon Kodesh is the Shema Etzem. That's what it is. It's a yad. It's a yodalid. The Icha Koyach. It's a yodalid. That's what it is. It's a yodalid. All the chavir who play basketball know on the hand there are 4 fingers and 1. This guy is different than these 4. I've given up a finger to basketball, and if you hurt these 4 fingers, the game continues. You tape it to the next one, you're good to go. You don't even sit out a game. I hurt this finger. I was playing my novel a day later. Taped it to the next one, you're good to go. The thumb's a different kind of guy. You don't tape him to anybody. He's different. He works, he has a different position. It's Yodalid. There's 4 and a little guy. That's Mamish Yodalid. It looks the way it is. It's a yad. It's not a yad. There are 14 knuckles in the finger. It's a Yodalid. That's what it is. It's not a way to refer to it. It's a Yodalid. That's what this thing is. So if there are many ways to say simcha, they have to be a different thing. Because if they were the same thing, it would be the same word. They're not like ways of referring. You could have 50 ways of saying happiness. It still all means happy. If there's Gila and Simcha, Gila is not Simcha. Translated as happy is just a mistake. You don't know what. It's a brand of happiness. That's Gila. And Rina is different than Gila and different than Simcha. And Sasa is different than. They all have to be different. If they'd be the same, it would be the same word. By it being a different word, it means it's something different. So Gila, Ken Zayin, the Simcha of Gila, is to be shocked by something. Surprise. Finding $100 in your pocket, that's like a Gila. That's a Gila. Oh. That's like a shock. It's something's Megala. Something hits a surprise Simcha. So then it's very difficult to understand. If that's true, you don't have to agree. If that's what Gila is, a surprise joy. My son claims Rina. I was curious about Rina. My daughter's name's Rina. My son says that Rina is something difficult that became good at the end. It's a process thing. And you that like you work through something difficult. Kumi Raini Balayla, Hazarim Bedima Berina. You see many rayas. He holds Rina as a happiness, something that was shver and it came out good, like it worked out. It's a joy of something. A person raises a child and like it's going shver. There's a Rina, Kumi Raini Balayla, specifically Laila difficulties, and something emerges good. That's a Raini Balayla. That's a what? Yeah, such as that. He had like psukim after psukim that it sounds like this. Good. So let's assume Gila, and this you can't just make claims, but perhaps Gila means an unexpected joy. If that's true, it's shver. V'ani b'chastecha batachti. I knew the ches would come. So what's Yagi Alibi? You're not Gila. You knew it was going to come. It's the opposite. Yagi Alibi b'shuasecha. You knew it was going to. Now you could say the Yeshua is different than the Chesed. If the Chesed is the Yeshua, b'chastecha b'tachti, amidst difficult, I had faith. So then what's Yagi Alibi? What are you acting so shocked when it comes? But if Yagi Alibi means now, he means b'chastecha b'tachti. I should have the Gila now. He's not saying now, I knew it was coming, and then when it comes, Yagi Alibi. Right now, when I grab onto B'tachan, I should get excited. He doesn't mean then you're ready B'teach. He means at the moment you get B'tachan, you could be excited about the Yeshua. It didn't even come yet. Yagi Alibi b'shuasech. Now it does say Yagi, which means future, but it means I'm going to continuously, it's not a non-stop. Yagi Alibi b'shuasech. I'm just going to be continuous joy the rest of the way. At the moment I grab onto B'tachan. Yitzchak sang that song, so I want to sing that song. I want to be mechazik coming from Chanukah in Hakaras HaToiv, but it's pasha to me. And these two Keliyat V'Deklakai Ramek, the two have to go tzazamen. To be makir Toiv, you have to have faith. If a person doesn't have faith, you can't make it. Rabbi Nachman is describing a shahakal that defeats Yavan. But a good shahakal, we have so many things on our minds. A guy, how's he going to, he could say it, but you need faith with it. There's a certain emuna, and then you see the shahakal, you're excited. If you're in that space of emuna, and the challenge is, it's hard, Hashem's working with me, then, but Hashem, only where there's emuna on the kidnapping could you be excited about the good smell. They go tzazamen. If the kidnapping is horrible, nobody's getting excited about the good smell. And he's being kidnapped. He's in the middle of being kidnapped. You're not noticing the good smell. You're not being mevarech on the good smell. You're not being serious about it. But if there's emuna on the kidnapping, now each one works tzazamen. The good smell could allow for the emuna, but the emuna also allowed to appreciate. They both have to be there. Jetzt can we ani bechastecha? Bechastecha, bechastecha, batati, vani, bechastecha, bechastecha, Ivavani, bechazdecha, bechazdecha, batavti, Ivavani, bechazdecha, bechazdecha, batavti. Yavani B'chazdecho B'chazdecho B'tokti Yavagel Yavagel Leibi Leibi B'shua Secha Yavagel Yavagel Leibi Leibi B'shua Secha It's interesting. Ein Adam Oimed Al Das Rabbi. It takes 40 years to be Oimed Al Das Rabbi. I remember my Rebbe speaking about Reb Miller, and he was admiring Reb Miller enjoying this world. And I remember him saying that Nekana the Yeshiva Das that allowed him to enjoy this world. I don't know if I wasn't Oimed. This year, Chanukah, and then I remember my Rebbe was saying that he's saying that the Hakaras HaTov and the gratitude has to come zusammen with the Emuna. And he was talking about Reb Miller and said that I'm Mekana the Yeshiva Das. There's a certain faith, a certain acceptance, a certain Shem, I'm in good hands that allows for the Hakaras HaTov, that allows the absorption of the Coke. And zusammen, if you're good hands, then a person, Geschmack, there's those two things together. The Rebbeinu Shalom should give us all siyata d'shmaya, all of us, to taka have the Emuna. We want to be maminim. We are maminim. There's tremendous Emuna in the heart of a Yid. To have that Yeshiva Das that Emuna brings, that zusammen we could be maket toiv, and the Hakaras HaTov helps the Emuna helps the Hakaras HaTov. The Keliyat V'Deka L'Kayrameka zusammen. It's interesting, a chaver of mine pointed out a davar nifla. He pointed out that Yosef HaTzadik, when he reveals himself, the pasuk says, "Lo yachol Yosef l'sapik," he couldn't hold out. And a chaver of mine pointed out every zach in the Torah is so exact. Yosef's the one who always could hold out. Yosef's the one in Mitzrayim is the epitome of holding him. Of not. He could hold out. And here, Yosef, who's the Spitz Tzaddik, who's able to hold out, here is Lo Yochel Sapig. What brings it that Yosef Mamish can't? And now this, like, the one who's so capable of holding in over here, he can't hold in, is he sees Yehuda. He sees the Achrayas of Yehuda. And that moves Yosef HaTzadik. I was excited. Years ago, there's a Ben Torah who learned in the yeshivas, put Svarim out, beautiful Svarim. He has a sefer on Brachas, I'm Nishbaimim from. There's Rav Yaakov Hillel Goodman, learned in yeshivas, a Talmud Chachma. Ben Torah writes beautiful Svarim on the Yom Tov, and he put out a sefer on Brachas, beautiful sefer. So he was laning, and I got the Aliyah, and being a Chassidish Yid, I pay a lot of attention to Aliyahs. If you're called up to the Torah, it's Hashkacha, you're called up. So then the Torah Hashem's always talking to us. But if they said, Yamai Daniel Pinchas, and they said, come, I want to read you this, so then I'm mamish going to pay more. Try to pay attention to the whole laning. But Chach, when you're called to read the Torah, so it's saying, so I like paying attention. And he was laning Yaakov Hill Goodman, and he read something at the bottom of the page. When when the guy has to turn the page, when the Baal Kaira, and you need to move one column over, he always needs you to help him out. You as getting the Ali, you turn a little and he rolls it, and together you move over one column. He started like moving over. I was like, just go, I'm not with you, I'm staying at this column. And I froze my laning, and it's the middle of Levi, but I was done. My Ali was done. I read my 3 psukim. I wasn't going further. The words hit me stark. And Yehuda says, Ki eich ele elavi banari nenuiti. How can I face my father and the kid's not with me? the nar. And I saw a mayor of Parmishlan said the same thing on this pasuk. He said, "Anoyer enenu itanu the chiyuv to bring our children, to bring our youth with us. How do we face Hashem and He's not with us?" I saw the pasuk and it was very, very stark. Eich el avi, how can I face my father? Anari enenu iti, and the child's not with me. Just dump him off, drop him, throw him away. You can't come to the tat and the nar is not with you. The achrayis, the sense of responsibility. And when Yosef HaTzadik sees Yehuda's achrayis, when he sees the achrayis, Anoichi Arvenu, he says there's no way, and he faces up to Yosef, then he mamish, he can't hold in anymore. That achrayis is what ultimately Yosef's megal himself, the achrayis of Yehuda, that he says, Eichel alavi, it can't be. I'm not willing. How can I face my father? I was mekabel achrayis for this one. I have achrayis, as every yid has for one another. Once, Maimid Ar Sinai, the achrayis by Yehuda was a chiddush, was before Kabbalah Satayda. After it's called Yisrael HaReim, we all are Yehuda. We all have that, his chayvus of Yehuda. And this line of Eich El Elav Anayin Enu Iti, and when Yehuda lives up to that line, achrayis, I've been mekabel achrayis, the responsibility for his brother. So then layachal Yosef l'sapik. Then already there's Yosef's megal, and already comes this. This is from the turning points of the Yeshua. Yosef reveals himself, becomes the first Melech al Yisrael, and starts in motion the matzav that at least Yosef already brings. He saves Shevet Levi. Already the aschala really of the Gula of Moshe Rabbeinu and all the things that come start here. But what brings Layachal Yosef L'Sapik to start a turning point, better things in the Galus, is this achrayis of Yehuda, that Yehuda lives with responsibility, that turns it around. Everybody knows the Maral. I wanted to, because we're coming off a yantiv of Akar Satayv, I wanted to speak out the Maral. All of us know that when they see each other, when of course, when Yaakov Avinu sees Yosef, so Chazal bring to us that Yaakov Avinu says Kriya Shema. Let's read the pasuk. Vayase Yosef Markavtoi, Vayal Likras Yisrael Aviv Goishna. Vayere love Yipol Tzavarav. It only speaks about Yosef. Vayev Kal Tzavarav. Yosef's crying. Yosef appears to his father. So what's Yaakov Avinu doing? So we all know the Chazal that Rashi brings. Yaakov Avinu is saying Kriya Shema. Aval Yaakov loy nafal al Tzavarav Yosef loy nashkai. Vam Rabbi saying Kriya Shema. Yaakov Avinu is saying Kriya Shema. The Maral says here that the Pshat Yaakov saying Kriya Shema is that he's mekabel ol malchus shemayim, such a good besuri, does tshuva. He's mechazik his relationship to Hashem in such gratitude. His son's alive. His son is oimed b'tzidkai. Oid Yosef Chai is oimed b'tzidkai. And Yaakov, upon experiencing it's mekabel ol malchus shemayim, he gets closer to Hashem. I think this nekuda, there's a tremendous isairis for tshuva when people go through difficult things. When there's a difficulty, there's an outpour, kabbalas and tshuva. The ikr pressure, the ikr nekuda that's supposed to fuel change and aliyah is gratitude. The whole Sefer Chayvus Halvavas, who describes the Adam HaShalom as a person who experiences Chesed Hashem and that fuels Avodas Hashem, that fuels the Kriya Shema. A Yid ben Olam Haba is Saimich Gula L'Tfilah. That's a ben Olam Haba. We're learning brachas in yeshiva. A Saimich Gula L'Tfilah is the Pshat. Gal Yisrael is I'm absorbed the kindness of Hashem. And what's it? Geirim, service of Hashem. Tfilah. Hachnat Hashem, service of Avodah. It's Geirim Avodah. Yeah, this is the Spitz way, the way it's supposed to be. A Yid experiences Chesed. And the Yid does tshuva, becomes bigger. We're very used to Reb Miller Reb Miller was upset. Reb Miller would speak about this. They once wanted to make a big asifa for the singles. Reb Miller said it's taka problem. But he said, I won't join the asifa for the singles until there's a big gathering of Shevach Vaidat Hashem for all the children, the ribuy of children we have. There are a lot of singles. They were born a long time ago. So where's the asifa? And Reb Miller was saying something. He felt that there wasn't enough, and this was his mission. He was speaking to Yidden about gratitude, about absorbing the Chesed Hashem, but being present to it, being present. Shlomo Guri told me a pshat in Hallel a couple of years ago that made a big impression. David HaMelech says, Ma'ashav L'Hashem. How do I repay Hashem? And Pashtus, part of the question is Kol Tagmulahi Alai, for all the kindnesses that He gives us. But Shlomo said we put the comma, it's in the wrong place. Ma'ashav L'Hashem is the end of the question. And the answer is Kol Tagmulahi Alai. I'm going to absorb more. What Hashem wants us, be present to the kindnesses. Let it be chal, let it be a notice, like pay attention to the kindnesses. There's intention, I made it for you. Pay attention to the kindnesses. Kol Tagmulahi Alai. That's the answer to that's what Hashem wants us to be attuned and attentive to the kindnesses that He sends to us. Many times I've spoke here about this. Every morning in the brachas we say about Hashem, Sha'asa li kol tzarki. The li is completely extra. Sha'asa kol tzarki, Hashem provides all my needs. That means to me, if He provides my needs and gives it to you, He's not providing my needs. The li is completely extra. Sha'asa kol tzarki, Hashem provides my needs. You don't need to say provides me my needs. If He provides it to you, then He's not providing my needs. So what's the li? And the pshat is that li, we often get things that wasn't meant for us. Nobody was thinking about us. I picture a guy walks in a big dining room. The cook wasn't thinking about him. He made a lot of food. I remember shortly after the chasna experiencing when you had a meal, somebody you come from yeshiva, and the cook is a good guy, he's making food. But he didn't think I remember the feeling, my wife made this, you look at the food, it was like cooked for me. It's like very overwhelming. It's like, oh my goodness, what? It's like a very amazing chesed. That's everything we get from Hashem. Sha'asa li kol tzarki, mamish. It wasn't like He put stuff in the world and anybody, you take it. No, He made it for me. There was kavana. Sha'asa li kol was made for me. Was made for me intention that this was this Pashat Hashem. There's an interaction with Hashem. This is where Nachman meant that the Shakol Niyeh B'dvarei brings down Yavan. The Yid mamish interacting with Hashem. The glass of cocoa is mamish made for me. There's a tremendous ava there. There's a tremendous connection there. The ikar impetus for tshuva and for Kabbalah Sol Malchus Shamayim, Yaakov Avinu has a chesed Hashem face. He does a tshuva. He becomes bigger. He absorbs and is present to the chesed of Hashem. He has a strong. That's the ikar gayrim of tshuva in a person's life. Kenzain, a person doesn't wake up from the cheseds. They need other zachin. But it should be the Rebbeinu Shem should be mizak all of us. We should be present to the chesed of Hashem. It should be chal, Allah. It should be chal on us. We should be excited by the chesed of Hashem. We should be noticing of the chesed of Hashem. And it should be goyim, a tremendous gratitude, a feeling of closeness, a kesher to Hashem. It was designed for us. It was designed for us. It was wanted. I spoke out to the Chaver, the Sfas Emes, that it says whoever eats the Gemara and Brachas without a bracha is geisel from Hashem. And we spread the Rashi. The Rashi says it doesn't mean he was geisel the food. The food Hashem gave us. Haaretz Nasan Levdem doesn't say bavad you make a bracha. It's given to us, even if you don't make a bracha. The bracha is to chap, and Hashem just wants us to live with the reality that I really wanted it for you. I mamish want you to have this. I'm like being miskachas with you. I want you to have it. Reb Nachman Kiyadua, when he would bench, besides benching, would speak to Hashem how good the food was. Say it to Hashem. He would speak. Whatever language, Ukrainian, Russian, he would say it to Hashem. Hashem, the fish was so tasty. The cholent, he would speak out all the dishes. He'd go through. The cholent was so good. The soup. Mamish. He would go specific on the dishes to Hashem. He was chapping. Reb Miller famously, his apple he ate every day would talk about the crunch and the delicious taste, and you did it for me, Hashem, and he would become close to Hashem. So the Rebbeinu Shalom should be mizak us all, the Hakaras HaTov, that we've had a whole yamtiv of Lohaydis Lahalal. He should give us the Emuna, the Menuchas HaNefesh, that we could be calm and present to mamish absorb the kindness of Hashem. We say like a new fresh Shema each time, each chesed, like a greater service, a greater awareness of his avatars. There's a Yid I'm close to for a long time who's an older Yid who's a big Baal Avodah. Somebody who works very hard in Avodah Hashem, hard. He has a chabura. He's a big masm. He's a big person. And he described, this Yid told me, after years of Avodah, I see the ikr thing in my life is that if I'm present to the Ava Hashem constantly is pouring at me, like the Avodah flows from there. So when I'm present to the kindness of Hashem, and I'm aware of it and feeling it, he said, like my Avodah like flows naturally from me. Just like comes out of us when I'm present to the kindness of Hashem. So the lights of the Ner Chanukah should continue to be a guiding light for us all. It should continue to be Meir, a Chayshech. Golus has a Hester and a Chayshech, but it should be Meir for us, a tremendous light of the Chesed Hashem. Even the Chayshech is only Hashem working with us, and we should be very present to the kindness. Yet if we could sing Keliyat Vayigash. Yato v'yoideko oyeloikai haroi memeko oikeliyato v'yoideko oyeloikai haroi memeko. Thank you. Okay.